welcome back to Supremely Black Podcast. Now, make sure that if you're new, hit the subscribe button. If you are watching the video, make sure you hit the like button. It actually supports the channel more than you know. Let's get into the content. So, I wrote down a few notes because, I love to make sure that we keep everything very, very fact-based. We don't get into the emotions over here. You're going to vote for who we're going to vote for. If you vote, you vote. That's how I look at it, right? So after watching the debate, how do you all truthfully feel about the candidates? From my first take was that if you like Trump, you still gonna like Trump. If you like Kamala, you still gonna like Kamala, right? Some of the things that they actually discussed and talked about during the debate were, Trump had brought up inflation since he's left the office, right? And during Biden's time. Fair point. Same old talking points. You really didn't hear anything that was just kind of like moving. From what I got, neither one really answered the question to where you can say, okay, I can agree with their policy, or that they have a plan that would really change anything. It's just more or less of, hey, vote for me, don't vote for him type of thing. Now, a key point that Kamala did make is that the unemployment rate while Trump was in office was one of the worst ones. It was, but then you also have to take into account some of the things that were impacted by that. That's COVID, that played a part as well. So, legit when you look at the numbers, but then when you take into account of what everything that occurred, you're looking at that. Now, another key point was she stated that Trump is only wanting to take your rights away. Now, this is something that I have seen a lot of times and heard a lot of times coming from the Democratic side. And I think it's, to me, a tireless argument. It's kind of like hearing Trump just ramble about certain shit. It's like, what are you truthfully trying to get out of saying that there's a president that has to go through and people have to approve everything that goes on that could just run the country as like a dictatorship? I think that's like tireless. The same way if you hear him get to rambling about cats getting ate in Springfield, Ohio, or there's pork in certain stuff. Like, to me, it's entertainment because it's almost like I can't even take them serious because it's like, talk about the real issues that are going on. You feel what I'm saying? What are you going to do about the financial climate, right? What are you going to do about Border Patrol? What's going to be your real take on abortion? And they spoke briefly about those particular things, and Trump was quick to clear that he had nothing to do with Project 2025. But when you look into it, of course, Project 2025 and the people that are over it are heavy supporters of Trump. But if you do your research, you would actually see that Trump actually has a plan for himself. And I think it's like Agent 47 or something like that. I forgot the platinum plan. So that would be something that you would need to read, because I think a lot of different analysts, podcasters, you name it, journalists have stated that Project 2025 is actually a direct reflection of what Trump wants to do. Do some research on that. You can take it for however you want to. Project 2025 is not directly connected to Trump. Now, have you seen them together, etc.? But he does have his own plan and has had his own plan. So I would say that people need to research that, because depending on what you may want in life, that's going to go more in line with a lot of people that have conservative beliefs. I would just say that. Now, when you look at the debate, I think for this one, it was 2 hours. I couldn't necessarily say there was a winner per se. Again, like I said at the beginning of the video, you're going to like who you're going to like, regardless of what transpires in a debate, to be honest with you. But I will challenge people to say this, is that now that Kamala has placed her policies on her website and it's no longer just somewhere where you can go and donate to her campaign, I would say this: take away from one being a Democrat, one being a Republican, and look at your life where it currently is and see exactly who aligns better with what you're wanting out of the next 4 years and the near future. And how will it impact your kids if you have kids? How will it impact the home that you live in, the family that you're raising? All of those type of things are going to be important. But then don't forget about how does it actually directly impact your daily life in the community that you're in? Because I think that's what's getting lost, and we're so caught up on too much of the bigger picture that we forget about the supporting and getting out and being active with some of the grassroots organizations. And I'm always going to push that you should help with people that are in your communities get things right and not just solely depend on a system. Because if you're looking for this debate from 2 hours to give you anything outside of how you already felt, me personally, other people may feel different, and let me know in the comments if you think so. Nothing changed. If you like Trump, you like Trump. If you like Kamala, you like Kamala. If you were voting Democrat, you vote Democrat. If you vote Republican, you vote Republican. Because to me, I'm gonna need them to get out and address like some real stuff that's going on. I need to know, is interest going to go down on home purchases? As a middle class male that doesn't have kids, am I going to continue to get taxed at a crazy rate to where it's almost like they're forcing you to have a kid so you can get a tax break with that? Is the housing market going to balance out? Is the grocery stores, when you go into the grocery stores, are we going to start to see, to me, more value in the US dollar? With the policies and things like that, are you truthfully going to be saying that cops will get immunity? And I know that's just on the local board, but is that going to be something federal? That's something that you have to take in mind. I have 4 nephews. That's something that you want to be mindful of if they are putting themselves in a position to be in harm's way, right? What are going to be the ramifications of police brutality if things like that happen, right? Or are we going to see more support from our HBCUs? Is it going to continue to be a fight and misuse funds or misuse funds of supporting the HBCUs? Like, those are the type of things that's going to go on to say, what are we going to truthfully change that's going to impact our daily lives? Like, what's going to make us a better country? I don't care about how you feel about it. I don't care that you want to say that she's not black. I don't care if you want to say that he wants to be a dictator. We know none of those things truthfully matter. It's just the entertainment part of it. When we get to like the real root of what's going on, is the housing market going to get better? Are there going to be policies and tax breaks that are for the middle class working families, which is majority of America? Are we going to start to see those type of tax breaks? Is the interest going to come down on buying homes? Gas prices going to come down? A grocery store price is going to come down? To me, that's what's important. What laws that you're going to put in place to make sure that everybody is equally having the same opportunities to be in the thriving part of America? That's it. Are we going to abolish some of the underlying racial things that are put into place in certain policies? You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot that goes on besides just the foolishness that I think that people play into. And as we had seen one time when Trump was in office, are we going to see an uptick in production of small black-owned businesses getting a boost that they did? I know from COVID, I know there's a lot of people that have leaned more towards Trump because they did see that there was a lot of entrepreneur opportunities that came from him being in office, regardless of who who was sending it, that's just how the bigger picture. Of course, once you do your research, you'll see. But who's going to make this country thrive? That's what people want to look for. But let me know what you think, because honestly, I can look at my notes. Outside of them speaking on abortion, which took a good portion of it, there's really not much. Inflation, spoke about unemployment a little bit, and to me, I felt like ABC did a terrible job of moderating in regards to keeping it an even playing field, because when you look at it, and if you've watched it, of who was fact-checked and who wasn't, it seemed a little biased. I'm gonna watch it again just to see exactly if it was just something that I just seen from a first glance, but it seemed as if that the moderators did fact-check Trump more than they fact-checked Kamala. And I think from even debate that didn't have any crowd and they were muted, even the playing field to where both people are fact-checked on both sides eliminates the bias. I'm not saying ABC was, but when you look at it and you listen to it, it just seems as if that there could have been something differently done with how the fact-checking was done to eliminate the bias if you truthfully want people to find out who's the best candidate to run the country for the next 4 years. But as always, let me know what you think below. Long live CC. I'm out.